Okay. Now, what we can do here is we can either take this and we could copy this. And what we can do is we can put it here. So we can have the links right here on each page. Or what we can do is, now I think that's a little bit better performance wise, but since I'm not really sure on the font just yet, I'm going to copy this and actually import it into the style sheet. Okay. So we'll just, and we're going to make a comment, and a comment in CSS is a little different. We have this / and the asterisk, and then an asterisk and a closing slash. And what we can say here is importing font from Google Fonts. Okay, and then I'm just going to paste it in. Okay, so I pasted in that whole entire line there. Now, to get this font to show up, we have to create our body tag, and then we have to do the font family. And we're going to do the name of the font and then the backup font. And you see the name of the font is Source Sans Pro. Because there's spaces, we have to put them inside the hyphens. And then usually as a backup, you have sans serif. So we'll do Source Sans Pro, and then the backup will be sans serif. Okay. So now, if we go to our web page and refresh, you notice that the font has changed. Not yet. And why has it not yet changed? Because we have to link in our style sheet. So typically below the title tag, we'll do a link, and you'll see style sheet type is text / CSS. You don't necessarily need to include this, but I don't think it'll hurt you if you do. And here, we're going to go to that folder. So we're going to do a period / and then assets. We have to go into the assets folder, and then into the CSS folder, and then we have to import the main CSS file. I'm going to save this, and now when I refresh, you'll see the font has changed, and it's gotten a bit nicer. Okay, so the web page is starting to look a little nicer, but it's going all the way across the screen. So one thing that I like to do is to wrap all my code within a container. So I'm going to hold down the shift and go up here, page up, and I'm going to highlight everything here. And Sublime has a nice shortcut for wrapping all the code in a tag, which is Alt-Shift-W. Okay, and you'll see now its default is a paragraph tag, but I'm going to backspace and do div, and then a class, and I'm going to give it a class of container, just because that seems to make the most sense. Now I'm going to do a little bit to format my code here. I'm going to move this down here, and then down at the bottom here, I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to save it, and just to make sure everything's formatted nicely, I'm going to do Control-Shift-P to open the command palette on Sublime, and there's something called package control, which we can install. And I've installed it. And there's a nice little package that I can install. So I can do Control-Shift-P again and do install package. And it is called HTML Beautify. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and I've installed that. And so now I can do Control-Alt-Shift-F. And you'll see some of the stuff moved. So it indented and beautified my code. Made sure everything is nice and indented properly. Okay, I'm going to move this back over here. Okay. All right. So we're doing pretty well. I'm going to save this because once it indented, it changed the file. And what I'm going to do here is now target that container class. Now to target a container class in CSS, I'm going to do dot and then the name of the class, which is container, then open and closing curly braces, like I did with this body here. And what I want to do is set a max width so it doesn't span all the way across the page. So I'm going to say max-width, and then say, let's do 1,000 pixels. Okay, to start, and we may change that. Now, I can also do, if I just save it like so, and I refresh, you'll see that it's now 1,000 pixels wide, but it's still left aligned. Now I want it in the center of the screen. That's better readability if it's in the center of the screen, right? So what I can do is do ML, which is an abbreviation for margin dash left, and I can set that to auto. And then I can go down here and do MR and select margin right, also select auto. Okay. Now, when I refresh, it's now centered in the center of my screen, right? So it has an automatic margin here and an automatic margin here, and it's 1,000 pixels wide. So that's looking a lot better. Okay. The next thing I want to tackle here is my navigation menu. Now, this is like kind of old school. I want it going across the screen. Okay, so to do that, I want to target in the header. So I'm going to type header, then in the nav, then I want to target the unordered list within the nav. And I'm going to give it something called display, and we're going to do flex, okay? And then I'm going to justify my content to the start and align my items in the center, okay? I'm going to save this, and I'm going to refresh. And now I've got it kind of like this. So they're all crammed together. So that's no good. But we can fix that up. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to target the list items inside of here. So I'm going to do header, the nav, the unordered list, and then the list item. And what I'm going to do is say that the list style is none. Okay, I'm going to save that. And when I refresh now, that the little bullet goes away, but they're still compacted together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say that the margin left is going to be 10 pixels for most of them, and the margin right is going to be also 10 pixels. I'm going to save that and refresh. Okay, so now it's spacing out. It's looking a lot better, but I don't want it kind of over this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say header, nav, ul, li, then a colon, then nth child. You could also do first child, nth child 1 within parentheses. So this is the first list item. And I'm going to say ml for margin left, 0. I don't have to put the pixels if I'm putting 0. Let's now refresh, and you'll see it moved it over a little bit. But the unordered list by default is over a little bit. So I'm going to have to give it a negative margin to move it over here. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to go up to this nav ul here, and I'm going to do the margin left, and let's start with negative 40 pixels. See where that puts us. And if I refresh, it's looking pretty good. I might have overshot it slightly. I'll do negative 35. And and this is when you start to mess around. Negative 38. Let's try that. Looking pretty close. You can play with it and continue to play with it, but it's looking pretty close. Okay, so now what I want to do is the links in there by default are blue and underlined, which I don't particularly care for. So what I'm going to do is target the header, the nav within the header, the unordered list within that, the list item, and then the anchor within all of that. And I'm going to say, type TD for an abbreviation for text decoration and say none. Okay, now I'm going to save that. And if I refresh, I've got now no text decoration, but I still got the coloring for the visited coloring and the blue coloring if it's not visited. So I need to fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say color, and let's do an RGBA, so red, green, blue, alpha. And we're going to make it fairly dark. So I'm going to do 0 red, 0 green, 0 blue, and then the alpha is the transparency. So let's do 0.6. Let's save it, and let's see how that looks. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay.